always enjoyed in bathing, swimming, etc. And so, we felt like we were protected, but in 2001, President Clinton expanded the park, and he eliminated fishing, and he said anchoring only in deep sandy areas, not deep water, but deep sandy areas. But all that West Beach is deep sandy areas, so it qualifies for anchoring. So again, we felt like we were probably okay until we saw the latest proposals from the Park Service. And what they want to do is they want to eliminate all anchoring bow to stern on the beach and all anchoring in the sand, and go only to moorings, which will be out at a certain distance. And the only way you can get people to the beach is drive in and drop them off. And secondly, they want to create a marine park on the backside that no people can go in at all unless you're swimming. You can't snorkel. You can swim through the coral, but you can't snorkel through the coral, which is designed basically to keep everybody out of it. And so, we met with them and tried to talk with them, and we felt like we had a dialogue going where they might listen to us, because there are 4 alternatives. A is the status quo, B is their alternative I just described, and C is somewhat of a compromise, as is D. But today they issued a statement saying that the public hearing's next week, and we get a lot of questions, so let's talk about some of those questions. And one of the questions is, people ask us what's going to happen to anchoring, and anchoring is gone. In other words, they've already decided that even though there's a public hearing to discuss alternatives A through D, they say they've already decided that anchoring is gone. Now, I don't know how they can do that, because part of the whole public process is to get your input. So it's very important next Wednesday and Thursday, if you can, but certainly on Wednesday, to be down at the Park Service. Now, I'm not going to be here. I've already planned on being out of the country, and my wife's not going to let me change that because I planned it back in February. But it's very important to bring as many people as you can. The process is going to be starting at 6. They're going to make a presentation. They're going to have speeches, and they really say public comment's not going to start until 7 o'clock. And then they've limited public comment to 30 minutes. But it's important, if you can be there, to stand up, even if you only talk for 30 seconds, and say what you want to be said. Now, what I've told everybody is there's going to be some changes. You're not going to stop all the changes. So you got to focus on what you want. And number 1 to me is bow to stern anchoring on the beach and anchoring in the deep sand. And number 2 is to be able to snorkel anywhere, whether it's in the marine park, outside the coral, anywhere you go, to be able to snorkel as opposed to just swim. And the third one is to try to limit the size of that marine park. Right now it's 5,000 acres. Try to bring it down to a reasonable size, because you're not going to ever be able to get it any smaller than the elkhorn coral, because that's endangered species. But the elkhorn coral doesn't cover 5,000 acres. Now, I met today with the St. Croix Environmental Association. I tried to get them to back the anchoring thing. They've decided, I think, not to back it because they think it's a turtle beach, which even the park is not claiming is the reason for the stopping of it. I'm not sure where they're going to come out. But the bottom line is, it's going to be a fight, and the only way you're going to end up with anchoring at Buck Island like we've known it is if we get a large turnout on Wednesday, because there are going to be a lot of people from Washington down who are here. They're flying in just for these hearings, and really they're here to see what the comments are. Now, Joel Touton has said, where have you all been? We've been doing this for years, but I read all the transcripts, and I looked at all the comment cards. And from day one, the main theme from local boaters is we want to be able to anchor on the beach, and we want to be able to do bow and stern anchoring. So that's always been there. And so it's not like we've come up new with something. That's always been there. And it's very important to let them know that we're here to say what we've said before and say again. We want to be able to anchor like we've been anchoring, and use the western part of the beach like we've always used it. And they don't have one study that suggests that use hurts the environment in any way. They'll tell you, oh, it hurts the critters, or you're killing the critters in the sand, and that's where sand comes from. Or they'll tell you that they're worried about people tripping up on the beach, but they haven't done one study to show that anything that's going on hurts the environment. And if it did, then we'd be the first ones to say then stop it. And so, Chris came to me and showed me all the letters he's been writing for a year, got me out of retirement on this issue. And to me, it's very important that we get as many people as we can out there on Wednesday in particular, Thursday if possible, just to let them know that we're environmentalists, we're avid environmentalists. We do not want to see 45 to 50 moorings bopping along. If they want to put in 5 or 10, fine. But we want to be able to use the beach like we've always used it. And that's critical. Thank you.